这是以前爷爷的家，你看。还可以完全看得出来以前的样子哈。
对呀。
我们来进来看。
来。
So this is the entrance to my grandparents' place. We come in, this is where he parked his motorbike. There's a room here. And then we can look out this window to see people coming in and out. And then this is where the dining and the kitchen is. This is where my grandfather did all his cooking. And then he would just stand next to us and be very proud, like watching us eating. And then later he got dementia. They moved him to a retirement home. We're going to Pingdong today. Pingdong is where my grandparents used to live. That's my dad's parents. My grandparents live in Juncun. It's also the area where all the military family stays.
Do you have memories of taking this train?
Yeah. I don't like the smell. That's what I remember. It makes me nauseous. So I lived in Taiwan, then I lived in the US, but now majority of my life I've lived in Singapore. So this series is about me coming back to Taiwan, showing the different touch points from when I was 6 to 16. This is where I spent my formative years. I also brought along the Merchies because in parallel, I'm trying to create a touch point for them in their childhood. What had shaped me throughout this journey, and now this is a journey that will also shape them. To start this journey, I'm going to sit down and have a frank talk with my mom and my dad.
为什么是佳琪问？袁佳琪是双胞胎的妹妹，对我来讲，有人跟我讲过是 twins are more than double。
那姐姐是很守规矩的啊，那妹妹呢就比较灵巧，这两个个性是很不一样的。
你对我有什么印象或回忆？
你就是我的童年的一部分啊，没有分不开，也不是说从来有说没有你的。
你对我第一次开始煮饭，你的印象是什么？
很乱，
很乱。
先帮他收、盘、碗，到处都是，就是那种很没有经验的那种哥哥。做的食物好像没有什么印象。
Not much impression about the food. My life has always been around university. I would say up to 22 has always been I mean, now we're looking early part of my life, right? My parents teach in school. Their life is very routine. Like they go teach, they come back, they have a winter break, they have summer break. And then basically, because of their routine life, we live a very routine life. And then the environment that we're in has always been this very serene, peaceful, not very commercial, but still they want us to do well. When the subject doesn't interest me, especially in the academic studies, I just have no interest at all. So I don't do really well at school. And I think as a professor's daughter, it was kind of like a little bit of an embarrassment that why she doesn't do so well in school. Because I have a twin sister, I have always been compared with my sister because she was such a model child. But I think cooking really, in a way, maybe saved me that I was able to showcase my talent and where I'm very passionate about and able to do well. And I just really enjoy doing cooking.
我想可以分几个时段，每次叫你做功课啊，什么都是一定要叫。但是有一天，那就请你去切水果。切了半个钟头出来，那个盘子摆的非常漂亮，它五颜六色。
如果是对食物来讲的话，鲁易从小可以感觉出来，就是对他来讲很重要。食物基本上在我们家的观念，我觉得就是你吃了以后，就是为了让你能继续的做下一件事情。但是对鲁易来讲，食物本身完全是有他自己的世界，有他自己的重要性。
一个职业妇女又要上班，然后又要弄小孩，可是每晚上到8点，小孩都睡了，你只有在厨房找得到他。你以为他这边乱煮，其实不是，他是 book by book， 他一本书又一本书的在做。对我来讲啊，就是一本一本的做，我都想说啊，真是浪费时间。明天又要上班了哈，为什么要花时间在上面？可是我想起来说，他那个时候所有自己给自己的训练是很特别的，就是你已经在你的 career 这么好，小孩又要照顾，但是你还是不会忘记你的 hobby。所以我们后来才知道哦，就说你对这个 cooking 这么有兴趣、有能力这样子。
We are here.
哈，不是啦，屏东什么车
Done.
？Yeah, my grandparents' place are here.
爷爷在照顾你们的时候啊，他是非常疼爱你们。所以你们两个在，他一定要煮给你们吃啊，所以这个时候应该就可以接触到他的食物。
每一个小孩如果有幸运到有爷爷阿嬷或者是奶奶的话，他特别亲，特别喜欢，对他来讲特别重要。我们的爷爷对我们这一辈，我觉得应该都是就是那一个爷爷，他对我觉得我们的期望里面是一种没有压力的期望，但是同时给你带来很大的信心的，给你自己我肯定的那种期望。
How does it feel?
I know. It's weird. A lot of things happened before. We spent all the Chinese New Year here, just along the street, up and down, up and down. We spent a lot of time with my grandparents here also. This is the dining area, and there was a wall here, but he had a little window open where he can pass the food. And I would stand here and watch him. It's a very hot space because there's a toilet there also. So just this space that he was cooking. There's a sink, there's a stove. My grandmother would be complaining like how much prep she has to do. He was just doing the cooking. I'm sure she did all the washing, the cooking, the prepping. But then he gets all the glory. Anyway, so he will cook here. And then sometimes from time to time he will get new recipe. Just all kinds of things he likes to try, he likes to cook. I think back, it's very similar to me, right? But now I have all the access to different recipe. At that time, I think he just get a trickle of new things that he can try from his friends. A very nostalgic feeling, warm feeling that, I had the opportunity to create those memories with him. He loved cooking, he loved us, so that's how he showed his love. Love on the plate. My grandfather loved my sister and I. Whatever we did, he just thinks it's wonderful, it's great, right? And then if people don't see it as the way he sees it, he finds it very odd that why you don't see how great they are. So it was that tremendous confidence that he had for us and the love he had for us. Me always just live inside me that whenever I close my eyes, I can feel that warmth, wash over me, that someone is think that you're so wonderful. I think slowly he started to lose his senses. I just heard from my dad that grandfather is not able to play mahjong anymore because he started to lose a lot of money. They have to go look for him in the park because he hasn't come back yet. So you hear these stories, then you start to realize that my grandfather was no longer, that strong person. But when he passed away, I wasn't too sad because I remember when he was healthy, he always told us that he doesn't want to be bedridden. So it was really hard to see when he was bedridden later as he declined. Almost the role reversed, right? When we went back to the house, they were taking care of us. And later when they went to retirement center, we were there to, cheer them up, making sure they're well taken care of. Actually, at MasterChef, when I was competing, I keep thinking about my grandfather, how proud he would have been for me to be, able to cook in that environment. It's just, he would be seeing me and he would be such marvel. He'd be so proud. Wow, you're in competition and you did so well. So today we're here at my uncle's place to make traditional Chinese New Year sausage. It's a long traditional recipe from my grandfather and now has passed on to my uncle. Okay, so he has the recipe here. 30年的 recipe. It's very basic. I'm surprised. I thought it was a lot more. 8 ingredients only. The recipe is to make 10 kilogram of sausage, lean meat 8 kilo, fat 2 kilo, salt, sugar, MSG, chili powder, and then the Sichuan peppercorn, and then wine. So usually he doesn't make in this kind of weather. It's too hot already because later it needs to be air dry. And then in Taiwan, he can just tell the butcher he's gonna make sausage and they'll grind it for him. And a mixture of lean meat and fat is a standard practice. 你这个从哪里学的？
这个就是因为最早是爷爷在做嘛，后来我也问过他嘛，告诉我大概怎么样，那我就自己来
调，
自己来再试着做嘛。
你觉得你做的跟爷爷有什么不一样？
我的比他好吃多了。
煎鱼粉？This is not on the menu.
What are your memories of this?
We always had this during Chinese New Year, but I never seen my grandpa make it. This is the first time I actually seen. I'm quite surprised the fat is not so much. It's only 20% because when you have it, it's actually quite fatty. It's much bigger grind. I thought it was much smaller. He's gonna wash the intestine. 这个很旧了，很几。
这个我都用20年了。
My grandfather was not in a good shape. He had dementia for the last 10 years of his life. So he didn't make it, then he started to make it. Yeah, so I haven't had the chance to learn it the last 15 years since I've been in Singapore. I never come back here during Chinese New Year. Actually, when he took some video this year, he asked me whether I wanted to learn it. So now I'm back. So I was like, okay, why not? 这个跟开飞机有什么不一样？
都很简单，都不难的。
哦，都不难，开飞机也不难。
开飞机不难。好了，我说开始的时候，
就往这边转，对不对？
往这边转。
嗯。
肉不要多，肉不要多，哎对，肉不要太多。关。你反应很快，你爸在那里，我关上。是吧？对，全部都炒出来了。
好肥哦。Quite stressful. I'm sure if I do it, it'll be stressful.
You have to try if you're thinking
Yeah,
of
yeah.
mental or.
Okay, it does have this very raw meat smell that's mixed with spice. It still smells very raw, and that intestine, a little bit of the smelly smell. You don't really smell the spice yet. So usually he keeps it out, so he likes it air dry for like 通常要风吹多久? Minimum 4 days to let it air dry. Then it's ready. So typically, if we're going to eat it right away within 2 weeks, we keep it outside, but otherwise we keep it in the freezer. I think cooking-wise, everything you do, once you see it, people have done it, is quite straightforward. I'm glad I'm able to see it. But this is during when my parents were growing up, it's very treasured. They don't have a lot of meat, and they save this for the Chinese New Year. And my mom will tell you the story where someone stole their sausage right at like Chinese New Year Eve, and they were like, oh. But I find this beautiful. Like all these little link of treasures. Upstairs, the wind is stronger, so you want to bring it upstairs.
这样就可以了。
不会滚下来吗？
不会，我这样子都可以。
不会风吹会滚下来？你确定？
这样好了 ，OK 了，没事了。
Photo?